Wow, is it Christmas again already? Boy, it always manages to sneak up on us every year, doesn't it? Even with Mariah Carey shattering our eardrums the moment October has ended. There's always something that changes about the world when December rolls around, when the Halloween decorations come down and the tinsel and fairy lights go up. A certain magic in the air that makes everyone feel warm and cozy inside, even if we do feel like Jack Torrance on the outside. This wondrous change even affects our favourite TV shows, bringing in a festive spin to even those shows that usually tend to ground themselves in a modicum of reality, or at the very least feel like it would not fit the Christmas vibe. Last year I took a look at a few wild Christmas specials, and I felt like doing it again this year. I won't waste any more time with a badly worded preamble, so let's just get straight into it. And since I took a look at a Sonic Christmas special last time, it's only fair to give the nod this year to his former longtime rival and occasional fellow Olympian, Mario. Now the portly plumber has had his own fair share of TV shows, some animated, some live action, and some
Hail to the king! Oh boy, that's a...
I don't really want to talk about right now. But the one that has gained the most traction over the years is the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which ran for one season between December and November of 1989 and has a total of 65 episodes. It was produced by Saban Entertainment and Deke Enterprises, and was a mixture of both live action and animation. The live action segments were treated more like a parody of the contemporary sitcoms of the time, with Mario played by professional wrestler Captain Lou Albano and Luigi played by Danny Wells getting up to various slapstick hijinks in their apartment in Brooklyn, often accompanied by several guest performers. In between these segments was the animated portion of the show that features Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool as she was known here, and Toad dealing with the machinations of the vile Bowser, or King Koopa as he was known here. Side note, the show would also occasionally swap out the Mario cartoon and replace it with one based on The Legend of Zelda.
Well, excuse me, princess.
And now you know where that comes from. Today we'll be looking at episode 63, which aired on November 29th. Oh, but of course we cannot talk about this show without addressing its opening titles, and that legendary theme song.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game, we're not like the others who get all the fame.
Yep, the Mario Brothers Rap. A theme song so goofy and cheesy you can't help but love it. It's one of, if not the main reason people even remember this show, and is so beloved that it ended up in the 2023 film many years later. The cheese is only amplified by the accompanying visuals of a green-screened Mario and Luigi dancing to the beat. I love how Danny's really putting his all into it, while Lou is struggling to keep in time with the rhythm. There's also a great bit where the two are running across the screen, but then just awkwardly stop before they reach the end. It just makes me chuckle. Oh, and I know this line is supposed to say to the bridge, but it really sounds a lot like to the fridge. Well, they do make a lot of jokes about Mario's appetite in this show. And I was so surprised to find out that one of the composers behind this theme was none other than Hayao Saban himself, the guy who made Power Rangers a huge success. I swear, I'm not trying to shoehorn Power Rangers references into my videos, they just sneak up on me. We begin with the live action segment entitled Santa Claus is Coming to Flatbush, where we learn that Mario and Luigi are so dirt poor, despite living in such a huge apartment, that they resort to giving personal items of theirs as Christmas gifts to each other, with Mario giving away his favourite wrench, and Luigi literally giving his brother the shoes off his feet. It's actually a really sweet sentiment and shows how much the brothers really care about each other, and what the hell is that? Is that a bathtub with crops going out of it and a Muppet scarecrow? Is that supposed to be a reference to something I don't know about? Anyway, as the brothers are about to chow down on free bean soup that uses literally only 2 beans, they're interrupted by a knock at the door.
Do you mind if I use your telephone? Oh, I'm so tired. Somebody stole my transportation.
Oh my god, did someone just mug Santa? What kind of a horrible person would do that?
Lie in the snow and count to 60.
Oh yeah, that tracks. This is where the animated section comes in, with its own opening sequence that has a slightly alternative version of the Mario rap. Now I will say that this show did have 2 Christmas-themed episodes, which is weird because the show only lasted about 3 months. But I decided to go with this one in particular because 1, it's closer to the actual holiday, and 2, well, the animated segment is such a wild departure to what we've just seen. It's a Star Wars parody. Yeah, we just went from Christmas to Star Wars in an instant. And no, it's not just a generic space-themed episode. It's called Star Cooper, it has dozens of Star Wars references and puns, terrible ones at that.
May the pasta be with you.
And King Koopa is literally called Darth Koopa. Although, considering the way that he's dressed, maybe should be called BDSM Cooper. Mario's ship, the Flying Pizza, is caught by Cooper's ship, and our heroes have to fight their way to freedom.
Say uncle, or I'll unplug your innards.
Cool it, boss-head face. I was frozen today!
Oh, I guess Cooper wins then. Episode over? No, instead of doing something sensible like throwing them out of an airlock, he unfreezes them to explain his big plan, that he wants the nearby mushroom space colony to surrender their planet to him, or else he'll fire a giant egg cannon at them. Okay, I feel like I'm the one who's been taking mushrooms. He activates a timer for the egg cannon and has his assistant escort the Mario party to the waste disposal unit.
You'll see that you'll be sliced and diced here, compacted here.
He's showing a plumber how a garbage disposal works.
Okay, there are one or two jokes in here that do work. They're sent tumbling to their doom, but manage to save themselves with their expert plumbing knowledge. They escape in a garbage disposal pod, avoid being picked up by Red Dwarf, and make their way to the mushroom colony on the planet, where they meet with its leader, Obi-Wan Toady. I can't tell if I'm relieved or annoyed that they didn't go with the more obvious Obi-Wan Cannoli. I mean, they make so many pasta references already, I thought it would be a shoo-in. Predictably, they need a team of fighters to fly up and destroy Cooper's cannon, and Mario and his crew volunteer. This leads to some more Star Wars parodies, including Cooper's brand of TIE fighters that look like roast turkeys. What even is this show? Mario manages to fly through one of the trenches, enters the ship, and destroys the cannon by throwing a bomb at it, completely ignoring the fact that he shouldn't be able to breathe in deep space. Well, it's not stopped him before.
I guess you could say the pasta was with us. Speaking of pasta, where's that lunch you promised?
Nothing like getting a bite to eat after no doubt murdering countless numbers of people that were on that ship when you blew it up. You're kind of a psychopath, aren't you, Mario? We come back to the live action segment as Mario and Luigi are helping old Nick here get his strength back. They even give up their Christmas gifts to him, though I do think he does kinda guilt them into giving him their stuff. It's okay though, because the following day, they find out that the guy actually was Santa Claus. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you at this shocking revelation, and he gives them a few presents as thanks for their hospitality. The episode then ends with Mario doing another green screen dance over the credits to the ending theme, Do the Mario. Another timeless cheesy bop.
Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario.
I love how frenetic he gets with it. He's like an excitable kid trying to get his parents' attention. I especially love the extra step and bow he gives at the end, as if he's going, am I in the shot? Have you got me? This whole bit is just adorable.
And now for something completely different.
The next special comes from an often overlooked classic kids show, Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. It too ran for one season of 65 episodes, airing between Septembers of 1990 and 91, and was produced by, well, who'd you think? It's right there in the name. This wasn't called the Shopping Channel's Peter Pan and the Pirates. While most people may be familiar with the Disney version of the character, this show more closely followed the darker stories from the original novels by J.M. Barrie, and puts just as much focus on Captain Hook and his band of pirates as it did Peter and his Lost Boys. Speaking of Hook, this is probably the most intimidating version of him I have ever seen. Absolutely cutthroat, yet has a cultured, gentlemanly manner about him. Some of the lines he has are darkly poetic, made even better by the fact that he is wonderfully voiced by the legendary Tim Curry.
If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in my arms.
You don't get that kind of writing from Disney now, do you? And Hook plays a major role in the episode we're looking at today, episode 34, Hook's Christmas, which aired on February 5th, 1991. A little bit late to the celebrations, don't you think? The episode opens with the crew of the Jolly Roger singing their rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas.
On the second day of Christmas, my company me. Talk, sleepy cleats, and a new sip of fare and bills free.
I can't work out if their singing is better or worse than Splinter's.
12 April onion autographs. Never catch up now. 5 video games. Made it.
Unfortunately, their festivities are interrupted by the resident Scrooge himself, Captain James Hook. And I'm not kidding when I call him a Scrooge. He's humbugging in everything.
What right have you to be merry? reason have you to be merry? Christmas is a humbug.
And yeah, if you couldn't tell, this episode is basically them doing their own take on A Christmas Carol. Hook even quotes a few lines from the novel himself.
Every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
The captain returns to his quarters to wallow in his own hatred when he's inevitably met by the spirit of Christmas past, who bears a striking resemblance to this show's version of Wendy Darling.
I'm here to assist you in your reclamation.
Bah! I'm long past reclaimed. I don't believe in you. I won't believe in you.
The spirit essentially forces Hook into a journey of self-introspection by bringing him to a moment in his past where he served under his brother Jasper aboard his ship.
From now on, brothers in arms, the Brothers Hook, scourgers of the seven seas.
However, it turns out that James was always a greedy little beggar, as he is disgusted that his share of the prize is no bigger than that of the rest of his brother's crew. So he challenges him to a duel. And while the fight is cut short, Hook does reveal the rather grisly fate of his brother.
If your aim is to cultivate feelings of guilt and remorse over my accidentally relieving my brother of his eye, it's too late for that.
Yeah, sorry for the lack of jokes here, but the writing and the performances of the actors is so incredible, it's hard to make fun of it. Damn this show for being so good. It's not too long though before the second spirit arrives, this time resembling Hook's crewmate, Smee. He brings him to an open glade on the island where Peter and the Lost Boys are decorating a giant tree. Oh, and John briefly blinks out of existence for a second. Funnily enough, watching his mortal enemy in gleeful celebration doesn't swell the dread pirate's cold black heart, even if Peter shows that he's just as bloodthirsty as he is.
Hook? If he were here, I'd cut off his other hand and give it to him as a Christmas present.
Well, if the happiness of children doesn't change your mind, how about the threat of being skewered by your own crew? The spirit then shows the captain the rise of a potential mutiny, with Smee being the only one who actually stands up for him, and his reward for his loyalty is to be thrown in the brig by the captain himself. Boy, they really do try to paint this version of Hook as an unlikable sod, don't they? Hook is returned to his ship again, but he barely has a moment to bar humbug before he is encountered by the final spirit, this one taking the ghostly visage of his deceased brother.
You have lied to your loved one, betrayed your own flesh and blood, and condemned the one man who showed you loyalty. Now we'll see what bitter harvest your behavior has laid.
He shows the captain images of the future, which includes his ship in a complete wreck, his crew fighting over his belongings, Smee practically driven mad with grief, and of course his signature hook resting upon an unmarked grave.
Maybe I should just leave Neverland and grow up after all.
Wait! This is better than I could ever have dreamed!
Oh wow! Hook is such a hater that even his own death bringing Peter misery is enough to fill him with joy. He really is an irredeemable codpiece, isn't he? But his happiness is short-lived as it's revealed that Peter steals the hook right from off his grave and uses it to play pirates with the other kids. Man, this show really does like to go dark places. This is enough to finally convince Hook to change his ways, but instead of embracing the Christmas spirit and becoming a Jolly Roger, James, he decides instead to increase the number of attacks on Peter to ensure that he never forgets about him. Honestly, I'm kind of on his side. Little grave-robbing brat deserves to be scarred for life by these pirates.
And now for something completely different.
The final special we're looking at today comes from Jackie Chan Adventures, a show inspired by one of the greatest action movie stars of all time, Jackie Chan. Duh. This show ran in the early to mid 2000s for 5 seasons at a total of 95 episodes, and focuses on a fictionalized version of Chan, an archaeologist who works with a secret organization named Section 13 to deal with mystical and supernatural threats, accompanied by his tomboyish niece Jade and his uncle. Yeah, he's just called Uncle in the show, and it's never made clear exactly whose uncle he is. Chan doesn't actually voice himself in the show, but he does appear at the end of every episode in live action to answer some fan questions. His character is actually voiced by actor James C., who often takes over for Chan in other voiceover roles, including Master Monkey in various Kung Fu Panda spin-off media. Despite lasting for 5 years, the show only ever had one Christmas-related episode, that being episode 10 of season 3, A Jolly J-Team Xmas, which aired on December 14th, 2002. At last, one of these Christmas specials gets the month right. It opens on the North Pole on Christmas Eve, as Santa is getting ready for the big night ahead. However, he is suddenly confronted by this season's main antagonist, an evil wizard named Daolong Wong, who wishes to steal Santa's chi.
If you've come for a gift, well, I'm afraid you've just made the naughty list.
Your chi is the only gift I require.
Fortunately, Santa's elves manage to get him safely into his home and create a magical barrier around it. I love how this show portrays them as similar to a presidential secret service, with code names, walkie-talkies, and everything.
Sir, security confirms worldwide airspace clearance for tonight's flight.
Unfortunately, while Daolong can't break the barrier right away, he creates his own barrier around the house and teleports it to a different location. After the opening titles, we cut to Jackie's antique shop where the gang is preparing to celebrate the holidays. Even Uncle's in an unusually chipper mood.
Uncle loves Christmas. It is when sales are best.
Ow! Commercialism not important.
Christmas spirit is.
But the festive mood takes a bit of a turn when Jade reveals that she doesn't believe in Santa.
Jade, you do not believe in Santa Claus?
Sure I do.
I usually have a pet peeve for when somebody doesn't believe in something supernatural in a show that revolves around the supernatural, but I can understand Jade's skepticism. Even though she is a kid and would want for Santa to be real, especially with all the deities, magical spells, and other explained phenomena that she has encountered over the course of the series. You know what? I take it back. Jade is stupid. Captain Black, the head of Section 13, arrives, and I love how Jackie is using his top secret government connections to find a gift for his niece, closely followed by one of Santa's elves, who explains to them the situation and asks specifically for Uncle's help since he knows a lot about chi magic.
Daolong Wong wishes to possess the extraordinary good chi belonging to Santa Claus.
Like Santa's Chinese.
The gang agree to help and head for the North Pole, while Black, somewhat begrudgingly, agrees to stay behind and wait for Toru's mother. That's the big guy, Toru.
Whoa.
I love that Black isn't too serious to appreciate the wildness of magic happening right in front of him.
Whoa.
Whoa!
They arrive at the workshop and Uncle requests a few items to prepare a location spell. Jade, finally convinced that Santa is real, and I'd be surprised if she didn't after all of this, gets serious and starts taking charge. She calls in some of their friends to help, including former thief turned security consultant Viper and Mexican professional wrestler El Toro, along with his sidekick Paco. She even has Toru dress up like Santa to deliver presents while they work on saving the real one. This of course leads to some Santa-based shenanigans.
Ho ho ho!
No accent on three. It's just ho ho ho.
Giddy up. I am not chimney friendly.
Meanwhile, Daolong manages to enter Santa's home in a similar fashion. It exactly makes chimneys so magical, and captures Big Red ready to steal his chi. Fortunately, the rest of the J-Team discover his location, and when they arrive, Uncle penetrates the dark barrier with a spell using his trademark chant with a bit of a festive twist to it. This leads to a big fight scene as the J-Team take on Daolong and his army of evil snowmen. The fights in this show are actually really good and are strongly influenced by the fights in Jackie's movies.
What is Pile Driver?
Uncle takes on Daolong directly in a battle of magics.
You look like my favorite now. Misato! Yeah! May you look!
What was that scream? Did he actually believe Uncle wanted to kiss him and he got embarrassed? Daolong eventually gets the upper hand, but Santa activates his belt buckle, which summons the Dragon Zord, his sleigh, and it runs the sorcerer over. He fails his concentration check, and the snowman return to normal. With his plan scuppered, Daolong beats a hasty retreat, and Santa gets to work delivering the rest of the presents.
Oh, only 3 stops? Oh dear, we must boogie. Ha!
Are you sure, Santa? I figured after your adventures in Halloween Town, you want a little less boogie in your life. With Christmas saved, everyone returns to the antique shop to celebrate the holidays as one big family. Santa even gets Jackie the gift he was looking for Jade, a video game called Ultra Moose 2 Antler Gear Solid Yellow version. A Pokemon and Metal Gear reference at the same time? This really must be Christmas. Wait, does this mean that Movie Bob was right and Jackie Chan should have been in Smash Bros? As said before, the real Jackie Chan showed up at the end of the episode to answer a fan question about what his favourite food is, and he says that he likes to try everything to see whether or not he actually likes it. It is a good lesson for the kids, but he did technically avoid answering the question properly.
For me, I ate everything. Yeah.
Well, keep eating, Jackie. Gotta keep up your strength if you're going to face Ganondorf and Charizard. Well, there we go. Another 3 Christmas specials in the bag. And this was an interesting bunch to look at. The Super Mario show is easily the wildest of the bunch. I mean, they stuck a Star Wars parody in the middle of a Christmas episode for crying out loud. Even beyond that, there were plenty of cheesy one-liners and awful puns, most of them based on Star Wars and Mario being hungry all the time, and bizarre yet creative visuals that help to make the show stand out and linger in the mind long after you've seen it. The live action stuff is very tame in comparison, but it is there mostly to act as a buffer for the animated portion. Later Mario shows would do away with these entirely, but they weren't really that awful. Peter Pan and the Pirate is clearly the polar opposite, going less for cheap laughs and slapstick antics and more for dramatic storytelling and a fantastic adventure vibe. Its take on A Christmas Carol is very well done, and the changes made to it, especially with the ending, is delightfully twisted. And Tim Curry is an absolute tour de force here, giving Hook a sophisticated, gentlemanly manner that only seeks to enhance his cruelty and ruthlessness. I mean, really, you have to know that you're a bad egg when your own death bringing misery to others makes you smile. Once again, this is a very underrated show and deserves a lot more love. Hey Disney, you own Fox now, right? Stick this on your streaming service for goodness sake. As for Jackie Chan Adventures, it's kind of a happy medium between the two, a fun mixture of Jackie's signature brand of action that leaves plenty of room for goofy antics. I love the way they incorporate the lore of Christmas to fit in neatly with the style of the show, mainly in how Santa's elves are made out like a government organization. The action scenes retain that familiar Chan style of comedy and kung fu, and every character got a decent amount of time to shine. True, it might not stand out as one of the great Christmas TV episodes, but for what it did, it was a thoroughly entertaining ride. All 3 of these specials have something great to offer, whether it's outright off-the-wall insanity, warm and cozy messages about caring for your fellow man, deep, engaging storytelling with amazing performances behind it, or just a fun thrill ride with exciting action and comedy. It really doesn't matter what your preferred choice is for celebrating the holidays, because there is enough variety out there for everyone. That's what makes this time of year so important. It's a chance to forget about your worries and just embrace the wonder and merriment that this season brings. From myself personally to anyone that might be watching, I hope that this year has been good to you, and I hope that the next year is even better. Have a wonderful Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and a very happy new year. Whew, you know what? After all that, I'm feeling kinda hungry. I'm gonna get something to eat. To the fridge!